Hello everyone. In continuation of the series of lectures, we are going to talk about harbor engineering. There are various coastal protection works. An important one is breakwaters. In this lecture, we'll be discussing about the classification of breakwaters and disadvantages and advantages of various breakwaters. So, what is a breakwater? Breakwaters are structures constructed on coast as part of the coastal defense or to protect an anchorage from the effects of both weather and longshore drift. A structure protecting a shore area, harbor, anchorage, or basin from the wave disturbance. A barrier that breaks the force of waves as before a harbor. Breakwater are the structures constructed to enclose the harbors to protect them from the effect of wind generated waves by reflecting and dissipating their force or energy. Such a construction makes it possible to use the area thus enclosed as a safe anchorage for ships and to facilitate loading and unloading of water by means of wave breakers. What's the need of the breakwater? Breakwaters are built to provide shelter from waves to manipulate the littoral or sand transport conditions and thereby to trap some sand entrance inside the anchorage area. A breakwater is a large pile of rocks built parallel to the shore and it is designed to block the waves and the surf. Some breakwaters are below the water surface, like a submerged breakwater. Breakwaters are usually built to provide calm waters for harbors and artificial marinas. Submerged breakwaters are built to reduce beach erosion. These may also be referred to as artificial reefs. A breakwater can be offshore, underwater, or connected to the land. As with groins and jetties, when the longshore current is interrupted, a breakwater will dramatically change the profile of the beach. Over time, sand will accumulate towards a breakwater, downtripped sand will erode. A breakwater can cost millions of dollars in beach erosion in the decades after it was built. So, what are all the basic types of breakwater? We have detached breakwater, those can completely isolated from the shore, headland breakwaters, near shore breakwaters, attached breakwaters. Those are the breakwaters that are connected to the shoreline. Then we have low crusted structure, high crusted structure, rubble mound structure, composite structure like using mass or caissons or using a revetment slope. For example, with rock or concrete armor units. And we have emerged breakwaters, submerged breakwaters, and floating breakwaters. You could see it in the picture where are all the breakwaters located from the shore to the deep sea. You could see we have offshore breakwater, coastal breakwater, and beach breakwaters at a distance from the offshore to the deep sea. Detached breakwater. Breakwaters without any constructed connection to the shore are called detached breakwater. This type of system are constructed away from the shoreline, usually a slight distance offshore. They are designed to promote beach deposition on their lee side, appropriate in areas of large sediment transport. So you could see it in the picture. The detached breakwater is at a certain distance from the shoreline. Headland breakwaters. A series of breakwaters constructed in an attached fashion to the shoreline and angled in the direction of the predominant waves. The shoreline behind the structures evolves into a natural crenulate or a log spiral embayment. You could see a series of attached fashion breakwaters are constructed along the shoreline, which will prevent the coastal action of waves and tides coming from the sea. Near shore breakwaters. These are detached, generally shore parallel structures that reduce the amount of wave energy reaching a protected area. They are similar to natural bars or reefs or near shore islands that dissipate wave energy. The reduction in wave energy slows the littoral drift, produces sediment deposition, and a shoreline bulge or salient feature in the sheltered area behind the breakwater. Some longshore sediment transport may continue along the coast behind the near shore breakwater. Rubble mound breakwater. It is one of the conservative and common method of breakwater. These are frequently used structures. It consists of armor layer, a filter layer, and a core base. It is a structure built up of core of quarry run rock overlain by one or two layers of large rocks. Armor stone or precast elements are used for outer armor layer to protect the structure against the wave attack. Crown wall is constructed on top of the mound to prevent or to reduce the wave effect. A breakwater constructed by an heterogeneous assemblage of natural rubble or undressed zone. When water depths are large, rubble mound breakwater may be uneconomical in view of huge volume of rocks required. It could be built up to a water depth of 50 meters. It won't be suitable when space is a problem. If the harbor side may have to be used for berthing of ships, the rubble mound breakwater with its sloping faces is no suitable for such berthing. These type of breakwaters dissipate the incident wave energy by forcing them to break on a slope and thus do not produce appreciable reflection. So what you are seeing is a typical cross section of a rubble mound breakwater. You could see the base and armor layers, the second underlayer and the first underlayer made up of large block stones, which will prevent the wave action coming from the waves at tides. Let us see few advantages of rubble mount breakwater. Use of natural material reduces material cost, use of small construction equipment, less environmental impact, it's easy to construct. Failure is mainly due to poor interlocking capacity between individual blocks. Unavailability of large size natural locks leads to artificial armor blocks. Now let us discuss some of the disadvantages of rubble mount breakwater. It needs a considerable amount of construction materials. Continuous maintenance required. Sometimes there are difficulties in erection as the rock weight increases with the increase of wave heights and it can be used for ship berthing purposes. So what is a breakwater? So let us see some of the basic types of vertical wall breakwaters. Conventional type breakwaters with vertical and inclined concrete wall. So you could see the vertical breakwaters is at a certain distance from the shoreline and the caisson is placed on a relatively thin stone bedding which you could see it in the second picture. Advantage of this type is the minimum use of natural rock. Wave walls are generally placed on shore connected caissons. It could reduce overtopping. The next type is vertical compost type breakwater. The caisson is placed on a high rubble foundation. You could see in the second picture it was placed on the rock fill. And this type is economic in deep waters but requires substantial volumes of rock fill for foundation. Horizontal composite type breakwater. The front slope of the caisson is covered by armor units. This type is used in shallow water. The mound reduces wave reflection, wave impact, and wave overtopping. Repair of displaced vertical breakwaters used when a deep quay is required at the inside of rubble mound breakwaters. The other type is of block type. This type of breakwater needs to be placed on rock seabeds or on very strong soils due to very high foundation loads and it is sensitive to differential settlements. headland breakwaters, a series of breakwaters constructed in an attached fashion to the shoreline and angled in the direction of the predominant waves. The shoreline behind the structures evolves into a natural crenulate or a log spiral embayment. You could see a series of attached fashion breakwaters are constructed along the shoreline, which will prevent the coastal action of waves and tides coming from the. The other type of vertical breakwater is perforated front wall. You could clearly see it in the picture. There are perforations in the front face of the wall. The front wall is perforated by holes or slots with a wave chamber behind. Due to the dissipation of energy, both the wave forces on the caisson and the wave reflection are reduced on the structure. Disadvantages of vertical breakwaters. Sea bottom has to be leveled and prepared for placements of large blocks or caissons. Foundations made of fine sand may cause erosion and settlement. Erosion may cause tilting or even displacement of large monolithic rocks. Difficult and expensive to repair. Building of caissons and launching or towing them into position require special land and water areas beside involvement of heavy construction equipments. Require formwork, quality concrete, skilled labor, batching plants, and also floating lifts. So these are all the various disadvantages of vertical breakwaters. So in this lecture we covered about what is a breakwater, what's the need for breakwater, what are the brief classification of breakwater from offshore to deep sea. Then we started discussing about rubbled mount breakwater, what are all the various components in it, what are all the advantages and disadvantages of rubbled mount breakwater. Then we moved on to vertical type breakwaters, and in that we have discussed 5 to 6 different cases, and we have discussed about the advantages and disadvantages of vertical breakwaters. Thank you.